Hello guys, I'm Scott So, and today I will be presenting to you my paper in our management research for ACM students. So my topic would be Eightfold Path and Employees' Intention to Stay in a Company. So the background of this is most of the management theories used in the Philippines are developed in the Western context. So we hope that this research will be able to help look for new alternative leadership styles or management styles which we can use in the Philippines. So the objective again is to explore new leadership style which can be useful in the Philippines. So a brief of my review of related literature. One is leaders should be guided by principles in order to have a moral compass in their actions. And Buddhist perspective of organizational management is achieving goals through accepting change, creating harmony, and respect. So this paper would be grounded on the idea of the Eightfold Path. It's a Buddhist concept which could be used in businesses and leadership styles. And lastly, the continuous practice of Eightfold Path will show ethical and authentic leadership, which can increase the credibility of the leader and decrease employee turnover. So for this research, we'll be using employee turnover rate or employee turnover as to determine if this will be effective. So my question will be, will the practice of Buddhist Eightfold Path by managers influence employees' intention to stay in the company? So what is Eightfold Path? The Eightfold Path comes from the teachings of the Buddha, which are the right view, intention, speech, action, effort, livelihood, mindfulness, and concentration. So a brief overview of the Eightfold Path. The right view is having a selfless point of view and a motivation towards doing things for the benefit of others. Right intention is being able to manage one's emotion to have a pure and compassionate mind. Right speech is speaking constructive praises and words that gladden others which could give hope, joy, and confidence. Right action is not doing any unwholesome conduct such as killing, stealing, or sexual misconduct. Right effort is having a consistent effort of improving oneself and striving to do good and avoid all the bad things. Right livelihood is doing what is beneficial to oneself, to society, and to be able to develop one's abilities. Right mindfulness means that being mindful of one's speech, action, and thoughts and be aware of our surroundings. Right concentration is being able to meditate on issues to deal with difficult situations to avoid abrupt choices. So right concentration is being able to be calm. So the whole paper, my framework will be based from Chow and Miji 2007. They came up with a what they call a Buddhist systems methodology. Buddhist systems methodology came from the general systems methodology. In this BSM or Buddhist systems methodology, Chow and Miji used five Buddhist principles, which is a time, space, cause, condition, effect, middle path, and eightfold noble path. So, like the general systems theory, it also has these five characteristics, which is very similar. So the purpose they did this was to use it to intervene on issues in Taiwanese Buddhist organizations. So this was made for Buddhist organization. Now, the framework we will just be using will be managers practicing the Eightfold Path and if it increases employees' intention to stay. So in their research, it's an action research, they were able to conclude that the research or Eightfold Path is able to contribute to employees' intention to stay. In fact, they said that their members and employees have also increased. Now, the methodology of my research is to have a qualitative case study based on interviews, and the research design will be a single embedded. Uh, it will be any quick service restaurant in the Philippines, and the way I will be triangulating it is to interview the owner, the manager, and some of their employees. Though I had a purposive sampling. For this exploratory research, I will look for a manager or business owner who is a Buddhist practitioner and also familiar with the Eightfold Path. I will be preferring a person who practiced humanistic Buddhism. Why humanistic Buddhism? Because there are a lot of Buddhists who are subscribing to traditional Chinese Buddhism, which is not a very pure way of Buddhism. So the background of my sample is McDonald's Tayuman. I write down the LRT station of Tayuman. It was established last 2014. So the background of their staffing is they have 62 crews and 7 managers. 80% of their crews are working students and 20% are in floating status. When we say they are in floating status, these are some of them are dropouts, or dropouts meaning that they can't financially pay. That's why they stop. So these are some of the interviewees. So Winifred will be the owner. Louis manager is a manager. He graduated from the College of Communications Research. Elmo, Jam, Arjun, Ashley, and Juvie are all students from different universities. Some of them are already graduating. Some of them are just in their first year. And Sarah, recently she dropped due to financial problem. So she's part of a 20% who are considered floating. So through my research, I went through the 8 different paths and I interviewed the owner, manager, and employees. Now, here in this table, you could see how much evidences was I able to get from them. So from the owner, I was able to get almost all except for the right concentration. For the manager, I also had all, but for the employees, they are quite limited to how they perceive the manager. I mean the owner. So the right view and intention of the owner are not very evident for them. But for the owners, for the managers, they were able to explain it really well. That's why I put unverified for employees. And transcript evidence, it's a total of the 3. It's strong, strong, strong. The only weak one is the right concentration. And then the practice of the owner is me assessing if the owner is really practicing it. So she was practicing almost all except for right speech because as explained in the paper, it would be she's not used on complimenting people. But according to her employees, she does. So that's why it's quite vague. For right concentration, it's unverified because I only had the side of the owner. The manager and employees, they were not able to give a specific example, so I put them in as weak. So what is the right view? It is an example would be she said, "You are not like that. I tell you directly that I don't care what your parents told you because you're a good person." So these are some of the experts I got from the interviews. Right intention. They said that the manager will scold you because the owner will scold you because she wants you to learn. And that's what I like about her as my boss. The only thing that she wants is the best for you, the betterment and growth. Right speech. This is according to one of her employees. They said that she will usually say, okay, just keep it that way. And if she likes what you are doing, she'll even say thank you. So, wow. So, right action would be another crew said that sometimes when you lack budget, she'll even lend you money because there was one of the crews who had to pay tuition. And then right effort, one of the manager said that Miss Oni is very strict with regard to standards being maintained in the workplace. Right livelihood, the manager said that for the cruise she gives a lot of opportunities, and then according to other employees at cruise, they say that she'll get angry if they don't prioritize their studies and instead prioritize work. So for her it's important for studying. Mindfulness is according to the manager, some of the crews get tense when she's there because they know that she's really observant, and when she sees something wrong, she confronts them immediately. Right concentration, this is according to the owner. She said that the culture they have now in McDonald's was entirely different from 5 years ago. And she was able to slowly build this. So this is how I assess that she has a right focus on doing her goals. So as assessed, the reasons for leaving of other crews was our relocation, graduation, better opportunities, work abroad, family problems, schedule conflict, health concerns, and the implications of intentions to say, uh, according to employees and managers, were growth opportunities, leadership style, fit schedule for them, good management, motivating owner, and some stayed even after graduation, which means that they really love the company. So this is one last. Is her leadership style is a factor why I still stayed in this company. Personally, I got hospitalized twice. The first time she went there right away and found a doctor for me. The second time, she asked someone to bring me food and medicine. She's not just a restaurant manager. If you become close to her, she becomes your friend, and that's one reason why I stayed. So my conclusion was that there are no evidences of employees who left mainly due to compensation or management issues. Second, people stayed in the company because of how she led the employees. And third is right concentration is quite hard to measure compared to other paths. So what does this imply? Leaders and managers should consider the practice of Eightfold Path as it will increase employee satisfaction and their intention to stay. So my other recommendations would this could be tried in a different company. We could have a uh, industry where turnover rates are lower compared to the QSRs, quick service restaurants, and it would be better if you could compare two different companies. So thank you, and that's it. Please leave your comments so I could improve my research, and if you have questions, feel free to ask. Thank you.